Welcome to a comprehensive overview of our online and interactive virtual training programs here at Synergy Learning Systems. We've likely all heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if that's true, what would a picture in constant motion, shot in 16:9 format, in the full brilliance of a 4K image be worth? And to be fair, some might simply call that a video. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what would a video be worth? Maybe 1,000,000 words? 10 million words? That's a lot of words. So let's get to it then. We created this video to share what many potential clients have asked for: a program overview or product demonstration of our 3 comprehensive virtual training programs, which are fully interactive, contain a 1-year learning path to mastery, and provide robust reporting capability to ensure our investment is being utilized. In this long-form video, we'll be answering a number of questions that we receive most often, including how the investment works. But rest assured, we're going to keep things moving at a rapid pace. Our clients have spoken, and we've accepted responsibility to listen. It's one of the things we make a habit of around here. When they ask, we answer. Our virtual programs here at Synergy contain the award-winning content that I've personally invested nearly 30 years overall and nearly 2 decades in the trades creating, documenting, testing, and refining. And that our team here at Synergy has invested nearly the past 3 years bringing to life on the big screen, the small screen, or really any size screen. One of the most important questions we receive most often: how much is it? We'll be providing an in-depth answer to that question and more in just a bit. Suffice it to say, we've created a powerful online learning system that our clients have found to be surprisingly affordable. As we work to finish up 52 weekly coaching sessions, as we work towards a 1-year path to mastery with ongoing consistent training for the entire team and each individual department, our programs are in what we're referring to as our pre-launch pricing or investment model. This simply means that there is currently a substantial savings available, and anyone who gets started now will be grandfathered in for all time at their pre-launch savings. So, how much is it? It's a few $100s per week. There are individual lifetime content licenses that we are including for free when a client registers during our pre-launch that are theirs to keep forever. And there is a 4-week test drive with an unconditional get your entire investment back guarantee. So there is absolutely no risk. Our clients have shared with us that one of the best things they love about their ability for their entire team to access our virtual training is that there's no additional investment in travel. No Ubers, no airport parking, no flights, no hotels, no paid travel time necessary for their team members, and no extended time out of the field, and therefore no opportunity cost of jobs potentially lost. One of the most difficult decisions we face as business owners when it comes to sending our team to training is who to send. Who can we afford to send? Who can we afford not to send? Who can we afford to have out of the field, or out of the office, or off the phones? We designed our virtual programs to solve all of these challenges and more. We might think of this as no team member left behind. Everyone throughout our entire organization gets training, and everyone is on the same page, and no one has any excuses. Our clients have team members pushing play on our programs, immersing themselves in our training as they get ready for work in the morning, as they drive in, as they drive from call to call, on their lunch breaks, and even on their way home. Suffice it to say, Drive Time University And Idle Time University is in full effect with our virtual learning system. One of the biggest challenges that most of us have found with training is that we, as the owner of the company, attend a training event or an expo or a conference of any kind, and when we come back, it's up to us to implement it and to continue implementing it. The challenge is, if nobody else was there to experience the full immersion training that we just received, or even if we bring some of our leadership team with us, now they're tasked with teaching the training that they've only experienced once. And if we send a few of our team members or bring them with us, when they get back, everyone else is wondering, what the heck is going on? And those members of our leadership team likely already had a full plate of responsibility before they went to the event in the first place. Now we have a small group of our team trained and the rest of our team is in the dark. This lends itself to dividing our organization rather than uniting it. And now we've got the haves and the have-nots. And this can rip our company culture apart. And we wonder why we get frustrated with training that we know would work, but most of it fizzles out because it never has a chance to generate the results that we are positive could have been possible if only we'd been able to fully implement it. We begin to ask individuals in our organization to train others what they just learned. And while this training may have made sense to them when they attended, trying to teach it to others is an entirely different story, especially when we often have dissenters among us. The whisper down the lane effect is in full swing, and this dilution of the content typically translates into the simple fact that we slowly but surely revert back to doing what we've always done. And once again, our training dollars have been wasted. Workbooks with a goldmine of ideas and processes begin to collect dust on the shelves in the office, or once again become a place to collect spilled coffee and be forgotten about or ignored under the seats of our trucks. However, we believe that we are now solving these challenges with implementation with our comprehensive virtual learning systems here at Synergy Learning Systems.
I don't know.
What's that? There's a major challenge, you say?
What if it's not any good?
Not any good?
What if my team won't watch it or pay attention? I'm worried they just won't do it. Or they'll tell me they did when they didn't.
It sounds like you have a number of areas that you're potentially concerned about. And these are valid concerns. In fact, we've wrestled with similar concerns for a number of years. Here at Synergy, we've been asking ourselves, is it possible to get the same kind of results that we're able to achieve in our live events if we were to create our training programs to be delivered online? And the answer is no. The answer is no. The same? No. Similar? Yes. However, we also believe that in some ways, if we created a virtual training program and delivered it in a different way, on the right platform, with relevant and customized content, with a robust and in-depth reporting capability, that we could generate even better results in many areas for our clients than ever before. In fact, we believe that our live events and our virtual programs have been designed to complement one another perfectly. Live events are designed for full immersion to get team members up to speed quickly. And our virtual training is designed for consistent and persistent ongoing implementation, creating a one-year learning path to mastery. Our virtual training can easily be implemented day after day after day in 15 to 30 minutes a day, week after week after week, with our weekly Synergy sessions. These weekly coaching sessions and micro-learning assignments are designed to solve the challenge of implementation, step by step, in small, manageable, bite-sized chunks over the course of an entire year, and facilitated by our clients in each of their departments. Both live events and virtual training can be vital to an organization and to specific individuals. Both our live events and our virtual training can be utilized for onboarding, and both can be utilized for ongoing, consistent training and implementation. When it came to creating our virtual training, there were a few things we were certain of. If we were going to be able to recreate our live events in a virtual environment, and if we were going to be able to achieve similar results, it wasn't going to be easy, and it wasn't going to be quick, and it most certainly was not going to be cheap. If we were going to create this, the first thing that we decided is that we would have to engage and to entertain. And we would have to organize and systematize our specific pieces of content into smaller, more manageable 10 to 15 minute micro-learning segments. So a couple of years ago, we enlisted the consulting services of a professional audio-visual engineer. We then designed, built, and outfitted our very own green screen studio with some of the best audio-visual equipment and technology available today. We then set out on a mission to find a local master of videography. And for a number of months, we scoured the Rocky Mountain region for someone who had the creative skills and for someone who could grasp our vision, our passion, and our humor, and someone who was willing to be in for the grind, the long haul, if you will, because quite frankly, most are not cut out for the grind. Enter Bryce Thomas, entrepreneur, high-end wedding videographer, and video editor extraordinaire. And now, years later, our director of product development. Once we had our local videographer extraordinaire in place, we began to recruit 11 video editors from around the world. These 11 positions have helped to create and edit thousands of fully produced micro training videos. Micro meaning an average runtime of 10 to 15 minutes. These micro learning videos are produced like miniature movies. They are entertaining and engaging, informative and educational. They're humorous and sometimes emotional, sometimes passionate, and what many of our clients have deemed as inspirational. In a live event, we can see with our own eyes if a participant is engaged. Many times we can actually see mental and even physical transformations taking place over the course of an entire event. We can personally witness participants jotting down notes, nodding their head, asking questions in the midst of an event, or coming up to us on breaks, sharing things that are resonating with themselves or their team members in attendance. So, how is it possible to replicate that kind of engagement and participation in a virtual learning experience? Many would say it's not. So we decided to do what the likes of Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Grant Cardone, Damon John, and the Zig Ziglar Company have done, just to name a few. We enlisted the same developers and decided we would customize the same learning management system that the biggest and most successful names in online training around the world are utilizing. And after a couple of rigorous, persistent, and determined years, and over $500,000 in investment later, Synergy Learning Systems' online training platform has been born. Many that have attended our live events have asked us if we believe it's possible to replicate the kind of engagement and participation that we can achieve in a live event and do it in a virtual training course. We believe we can come close, and we have invested the resources to ensure we can measure it. Our virtual training participants will be engaged from the very first time that they press play in an ongoing interactive learning environment. With most online courses describing someone as a participant, well, that could be a bit of a stretch. And that could be considered putting it lightly. Here at Synergy, it's not only accurate, it's guaranteed. By implementing the most cutting-edge technology today, during each of our core training videos, we will consistently engage our individual participants by asking them a question, or by asking to gather their personal opinion on an important or relevant piece of subject matter. They will then be required to choose between 4 separate answers before the training continues. Once the answer, a personalized response specifically created for the answer that they selected, will provide a unique journey to the individual participant throughout our training platform. Our clients have shared that this consistently creates a learning experience unlike anything they've ever experienced before online. Our clients have described this as a similar experience to what many of us have had as a child reading a choose-your-own-adventure novel. These were the books where, as we arrived at the end of a chapter, we were asked to choose which page to turn to next, depending on our individual choice of adventure. In a similar fashion with our virtual programs, once we've had a personalized conversation with this individual participant, based on their own temperament, attitude, and knowledge base, we'll all come back together to finish the remainder of that specific training content within each micro-learning segment. This inspires an incredibly high level of engagement, and despite being a fully produced virtual program, we've gone the extra mile to create and ensure a personalized and customized participant experience every single time. If we're having a hard time imagining this, let's have a live look into a participant's experience. In this clip, you'll be introduced to a friend of ours here at Synergy. Allison is a licensed psychotherapist, entrepreneur, and a mother of 2 that we enlisted to help film a portion of our virtual core training. We originally met nearly 2 decades ago when she was working for me at a direct sales company that I had started while attending the University of Colorado. Here, we'll cut in midstream as we're chatting about a particular personal development topic, where we're referencing some great speakers and inspiring literature, such as Napoleon Hill and Tony Robbins, just to name a few.
I also wanted to see if you noticed Robbins' reference to Think and Grow Rich. He talked about burning your boats, and that is a direct reference to what Napoleon Hill said that some of the most successful people in all of history had in common. Because when we are faced with a choice of dying or succeeding, most often we are going to succeed. But most of us give ourselves a way out, and that is why we don't have what we want.
Yeah, when I hear Robbins talk about reasons, limiting beliefs, and the stories many of us tell ourselves, it makes me think of one of your favorite quotes.
We can have 2 things in life, but never at the same time: results or excuses.
Yep, that's the one. Let's also chat about something that will differentiate ourselves from others and other companies.
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of things, and a lot of them being very small or seemingly insignificant things that can add up to be really big things.
Yeah, the one that I'm thinking of in particular is the one that we refer to at our live events, the Great Equalizer.
Ah, yes, the Great Equalizer. So true in so many different regards.
Yeah, sounds like a Star Wars character or something. What do you believe we might be referring to when we say the Great Equalizer?
As we can see here, we stand to the side, and the question we just posed to this participant appears on screen.
We are on a continuous, never-ending loop about every 10 seconds, patiently waiting for the participant to carefully select their answer.
I will say, our stamina is amazing. I mean, we can stand there turning, smiling, encouraging, and waiting all day long.
This means a participant cannot merely press play and then get up and go help their significant other make dinner, or go outside and mow the yard, or go outside and inventory their van, or update the job board, or watch the big game, or anything else. Because we'll know, and the company's leadership team will know, and the business owner investing in the training will know. And if a distributor or manufacturer is co-opting the training, they'll know. We've built our entire system to provide the KPIs and full reporting structure and data to anyone with a vested interest in participant participation. We are not only encouraging engagement within our virtual training, we're guaranteeing. Let's revisit our incredible stamina now.
There we are. Look at us go.
I must say, we are incredibly patient. Would you just look at those smiling faces? Let's say this participant selects this answer here.
Once the participant selects an answer, effectively choosing their own adventure for their very own customized and interactive learning experience, we'll begin to share a personalized response to their individual selection. Let's have a look.
Money, 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 money.
Money. I think that might be one of the main things that keeps us from being equal.
Maybe. However, the answer that we're looking for here is time. Time is the greatest equalizer.
Those of us watching this demonstration are like most, we're likely wondering, what would have happened if this participant had selected a different answer?
Well, let's have a look. Here we can see what would have happened if this participant had selected this answer instead. Let's listen in on what this participant's personalized and interactive experience would have been if this had been the case.
Jedis. Either you're being funny, like I was when I wrote that,
Or your reticular activating system was focused on it because Allison mentioned Star Wars.
while having Jedis around might be fun, the answer we're looking for here is time. Time
behind us.
is the great time. Yeah, he's trying to run away from time, but time is the great equalizer.
By the way, some of our clients have asked if there's any wasted time with their team playing around with each of the different interactive answers. Our answer is we don't believe there's any wasted time within this virtual learning system. Once an answer is selected, if a participant were curious to see what a different choose their own adventure would have been like, the participant would have to restart the entire video in order to select a different answer. Our clients have shared that this inspires each of their participants to invest some serious thought to how they answer each interactive experience. And we'll be sharing more about that in just a bit. The worst case scenario is also a best case scenario. If a participant were to watch the training content multiple times just to see what the interactive answers were like, they're simply going to have a better understanding and retention of the content by watching it multiple times. So there really is no downside to this. The interactive experience on display that we just watched a moment ago has required a Herculean effort for the better part of 3 full years. The construction of an entire studio, thousands of videos, a master of videography, 11 professional video editors from around the world, tens of thousands of hours of video production, a robust reporting structure to ensure accountability, and well over $500,000 invested. And we believe our clients, our friends in the business from coast to coast, and our participants are all going to agree that it's all been worth it. To be frank, here at Synergy, we have so much more planned, we're not even close to being finished yet. In fact, we're just getting started around here. Let's change gears for just a moment to outline some of the reporting and measurement tools that we mentioned previously. Many business owners, distributors, and manufacturers have shared with us that they feel this is incredibly important. In fact, they've shared with us that they not only believe it's important, it is absolutely vital. 2 of my favorite sayings in business and quite frankly life is what gets measured gets done, and that we must inspect what we expect. When we're able to accurately measure and inspect our expectations in a timely and efficient manner, more things get done. Accountability increases, and therefore, so does productivity. The business owner and any member of their leadership team that they personally designate will be granted access to our platform's highly in-depth reporting. The leadership team will not only be able to monitor the progress of each individual team member at any time with just a couple of clicks, they'll be able to see exactly how each of their team members are performing every day, every week, throughout the entire year. Each answer that is selected by each individual participant is recorded and tracked. In-depth reports can be viewed by our designated leadership team 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. And as we can see here, we'll also have full visibility of how our overall team is answering, scoring, and progressing throughout each of our customized programs for each of our departments. And for those in leadership positions wanting to take a deeper dive into reporting, suffice it to say, there's even more than what we're showing here. But we're just scratching the surface here on engagement, reporting, and accountability. At the end of each microlearning training video, we've created a customized quiz relating to the specific content that the participant just learned. If the participant wasn't investing their undivided attention, that participant is not going to be able to pass that particular quiz. And if they don't pass the quiz, that team member will not be able to unlock the next microlearning video in the program until they revisit the content and pass the quiz on a future attempt. And as we mentioned a moment ago, every click within the platform is tracked. Every quiz, every right answer, and every wrong answer. The leadership team at your organization is also able to see what specific time of day each participant is utilizing the system. And to be clear, what we're working toward here, in every possible way, leaving no stone unturned, is engagement and accountability, and therefore, improved performance. We're not trying to get anyone in trouble. In fact, the only team members that would have a concern would be those that are trying to beat the system anyway, by doing less. My personal experience has shown if they're trying to beat the system in an online training program that the business owner has invested in for them, and that has been designed to help them improve in every area of their life, odds are they're attempting to circumvent a lot of other systems too. I found that in most cases, the way we do one thing is the way we do all things. If it were me, and it were my business, it's something that I'd like to know. You know, we've also found that it helps in the learning experience to have an idea of the amount of time that will be required to complete each individual training video. It helps both the conscious and subconscious mind to settle in for each new learning experience, whether that be for a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video. As we can see here, our video editing team has added this blue progress bar to each of our individual pieces of training content. And as each video comes to a conclusion, the viewer is on heightened alert for the final points being communicated. They'll also be preparing for the quiz that is sure to follow. You may have noticed we have a blue progress bar on this very video right down here. As we worked with our developers, another thing that we felt was incredibly important in regard to learning and engagement is that a team member will not be allowed to fast forward any of the training content. We felt that allowing a participant to fast forward or skip any of the content created would defeat the entire point of having relevant material customized for the entire organization. If we allowed team members to skip any portion of the program, the reports being provided would be creating inaccurate data. As the saying goes with data, garbage in, garbage out. And once an individual participant has completed any training video and passed the quiz, that video will be unlocked for their future viewing and repetition working towards mastery. This means they can revisit any video in the program in unlimited fashion, fast forwarding, skipping ahead, any certain part, as long as they've successfully finished and passed the quiz at least once. Now, as an added bonus, we instructed the developers to allow anyone in a leadership role within the system to be able to skip any video in the entire program, and at any point in any video at any given time. This allows members of leadership to skip to any content that they feel is the most timely and the most relevant for their team on that very day. If that happens to be a specific role play of how a CSR could handle a certain type of call, such as a customer that asks a CSR to waive the diagnostic, or perhaps to tell the CSR that they're just looking for a ballpark price. Or perhaps you have a weekly meeting planned for the next day, and because a job went south on your team the day before, a member of the leadership team simply didn't have the time to fully prepare for the meeting as they had intended to. If this were to be the case, any number of role plays could be shared, demonstrating how a team member could handle any given situation in the home or on the phones. Once a company invests in any one of our virtual programs, this type of specific and powerful content can be available at a moment's notice. Speaking of weekly meetings, we mentioned earlier that in some ways our virtual training programs have an advantage over our live events. The fact is, whether it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4-day live event, our clients say that while our full immersion live events are powerful and packed with vast amounts of relevant content, a live event simply isn't able to provide enough time to cover even a fraction of the customized content that we've created in our virtual learning environment. The great news is, because it's delivered in an unlimited virtual fashion, we are able to make it available at a fraction of the investment. Our virtual platform provides an opportunity to not be limited by time constraints. We're able to provide more in-depth conversations, more detailed explanations and examples, and to further expand our training content. Not only do our virtual training programs contain content centering around each slide from our live events and our workbooks, our virtual programs contain more exercises, more coaching, more role plays, and many other training concepts that live events simply aren't able to allow the time for. Our clients are not only utilizing our virtual programs to implement systematic training processes, they're using them to onboard new team members at lightning speed and scale their businesses faster than ever before. They're also utilizing them to consistently inspire, coach, and retrain each of their current team members. We've produced over 50 individual role-play videos in our CSR program, over 80 individual role-play videos in the tech program, and over 80 role-play videos in the sales programs. These are fully produced and performed high-definition role-plays, matching the scripts in each of our workbooks, with each of them performed word for word. We role-play every situation imaginable, making real call-aheads in real service vans, knocking on real front doors, entering real entryways, conversing in real mechanical rooms and in real bathrooms. We fully produce role plays at real kitchen tables and at real dining room tables, and with real CSR phone calls at an actual desk on a real headset, all filmed in high definition by our very own master of videography. In addition to this comprehensive library of complete processes for CSRs, text, and major project sales, let's talk about the magic elixir that we're actively putting the finishing touches on to help our clients solve the challenge of implementation. Despite everything we've just shared, our clients are saying what we've created next is truly the game changer. And it's the number one thing that has kept us in what we consider to be our pre-launch phase, which is great news for everyone watching this. The fact that we're in our pre-launch phase means that we're including our 3 lifetime content licenses for no additional investment. And the weekly investment currently remains roughly 60% off from our standard investment rates. We knew this comprehensive program with a 1-year path to mastery created for each department in a contracting business was going to be an incredible amount of work. But even with all the planning that went into this, I don't believe we could have anticipated how much time or how many resources this was truly going to require in order to create something that could very well change how ongoing training is implemented in our industry. Most of us that enter the trades are not professional trainers, and nor do we want to be. We didn't get into this to be speakers, and we still have no real desire to be. Some leaders are great at it, but don't find themselves passionate about doing it. Before becoming a business owner or a member of leadership, we've likely never been asked before to put a lesson plan together or an onboarding process, let alone a comprehensive training curriculum or weekly assignments for our team. In fact, most of us probably hated school, and many really can't stand public speaking. Most of us in the trades have spent our entire lives despising sales and sales processes. Or even if all that were not the case, The trades are hard. Our days can get away from us. Customers are calling, team members are calling, systems aren't working, projects are running behind. Maybe our equipment or materials didn't show up. Our supply houses don't have the parts that we need. Our phones all of a sudden aren't working, or our software isn't loading. We've missed our kids' last 3 games. Our significant other is upset we didn't make it home for dinner. Again. Our text van won't start. The install packets didn't get made. The jobs aren't staged. The inventory sheets didn't get turned in. Payroll's due again. The time cards aren't complete. The sales tax didn't get paid. And we're just freaking exhausted. And then the week finally comes to an end, and then we blink and it's Monday. And maybe we even ran on call all weekend anyway. And then it all starts all over again. It's not that we don't care, and it's not that we're not committed to fixing everything and anything, and it is not for a lack of trying. But if there's one thing I've noticed in the trades, is that when all heck breaks loose, as it often does, the first thing that gets skipped, or at least receives less attention than most everything else, is having perfectly prepared weekly meetings with perfectly organized content, with a very distinct purpose and an objective come hell or high water. So, we end up winging it or just canceling it all together. And despite our best efforts and the absolute best of intentions, we inadvertently send a signal to our team that the meetings at our company, well, they just aren't that important. And if our team begins to believe that our meetings are not that important, and they come to expect there to be no planned objective with no specific purpose, with no weekly assignment, with no expectation of preparation, then the weekly meeting becomes nothing but a reason for everyone to get together and drink coffee, eat donuts, and complain about why we had to get up an hour earlier today in the first place. And in most cases, if we decide to have our meeting anyway, we often jump right in and share what most of us in the trades know the best, the technical side of the business, with whatever the most pressing fire of the week has been. And every week that we allow this to happen, we fall one more week behind, 1 week further from where we could have been, from where we know we could be, and from what we know our business could have become. It's the mystery of the human experience. Knowing exactly what needs to be done and not doing it. But it no longer has to be that way. At Synergy, we've decided to stop talking about the challenge, and we decided to accept responsibility to solve it. And that's why we decided to create 52 customized weekly meetings for your team. As part of our 1-year online virtual subscription, we're creating a facilitators program for each of your department leaders, complete with fully prepared weekly meetings, with timed exercises, assignments, and specific role-play scenarios, and the leadership coaching for exactly how to implement them. And we're calling these our weekly Synergy sessions. Whether it be for your CSRs inside your facility, your technicians running your service calls, or your design consultants running your sales leads, we're creating 52 powerful weekly meetings for your entire team, for each week throughout the entire year. These weekly Synergy sessions not only take a deeper dive into the concepts previously introduced in our initial core training, they also contain additional customized training content for you and your team each week throughout the year. Each weekly meeting is equipped with a downloadable PDF containing a new individual or group exercise each week. We've created small, manageable, bite-sized chunks for your team to work on each week, relevant to their specific responsibilities within your organization, and working towards mastery in their career without ever missing a single week throughout the year. Each Synergy session, whether it be for your CSRs, your technicians, or your sales team, will contain an allotted time for specific role plays, complete with a countdown timer for your members of leadership to simply facilitate. It is the ultimate and proven way to ensure that we're helping you to solve the challenge of implementation. It's what I did to rapidly scale my own business. And it's what I did to rapidly onboard and get new team members up to speed very quickly. Each new weekly meeting continues to build on the previous week's assignment. Every week, working closer and closer to mastery. Many of our clients have shared that they've always wished they had a systematic way to onboard new team members. So we went to work to solve this challenge for them. New hires can immerse themselves in our core training program on the very first day they begin to onboard. And within just 1 week of their day to hire, they can be up to speed with the rest of their department. Here at Synergy, we are incredibly serious about training. If you're still watching this, we'll assume you are too. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, our virtual programs are incredibly affordable, and we decided to help our clients cash flow by working with them on a weekly subscription model. We don't ask for a big lump sum annual investment, and we don't ask our clients to make an annual commitment without being able to take the entire program for a test drive. We invite you to join us for part 2 of this virtual overview, where we'll take a much deeper dive into how to gain access to all of our virtual content with a risk-free guarantee for just a few $100s per week. We look forward to seeing you back here in just a moment for part 2 of the comprehensive overview of our online and interactive virtual training programs here at Synergy Learning Systems.